I promise you that if you follow along through all of the steps in this video, you will be able to have the ultimate physical and mental glow up that you've been looking for in just 12 weeks. Hello everyone, if you don't know who I am, my name is Laura and I am a health and self-development coach. And if you're wondering what makes me qualified to talk about this subject, I have had, in my opinion, a pretty impressive glow up myself. I have other videos detailing the glow up and I also post a lot on social media, so Instagram and TikTok about it. But basically I lost 15 kilograms. I went from working in a pub to owning my own business. And I like to think that I've just been really good at honing the process to level up and become the best version of yourself. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened there. So much so that I have created my own little ebook guide, you can't really see, called How to Level Up Your Life for the Last Time. No, but really. I'm going to link the guide below, but basically I talk through all of the steps that I took in order to have my own glow up and how you can too, and all of the pitfalls, all of the mistakes and how to avoid them. And in this video, I'm going to go through a lot of the steps in the guide, but I'm also going to pepper in a few new ones as well. So the first place to start is to think of your life in 4 different areas. So consulting my iPad, the first area is health. And obviously the 2 little subcategories in health are nutrition and fitness. And then the second is aesthetics. And in aesthetics, we've got body, face and style. Number 3 is finances. So that's all about career and budgeting. And then number 4, a super important one, mind my hair, is happiness and mindset. So those are the 4 areas that we're going to focus on in order for you to have your ultimate physical and mental glow up. And the process in order to do that is to split your glow up into 4 phases. So back to the iPad. The first phase is all about the prep, and that is before you even start your glow up. The second is all about getting into a routine. The third is intense focus. And the 4th is to make it your identity so that it sticks beyond 12 weeks. So before we get into the finer details on how exactly to have your glow up, I think a really important place to start is to make a commitment to yourself. So if you were drawn to this video in the first place, the likelihood is that you have tried to start and have a glow up so many times, and it probably hasn't stuck. And so I want you to now make a commitment to yourself that this is going to be the last time that you ever start your glow up. And I'm not saying that you'll do this for 12 weeks and be perfect, job done, tick. There's always going to be continuous improvement along the way, but I want you to make a commitment that this is the last time that you start a diet. This is the last time you don't follow through with something, and this is the last time that you show up as the version of yourself that you don't want to be. Going forward, every day, you're going to show up as your dream version of yourself, as the dream version of yourself. And the reason for this, and this is really important, is because you are never going to be as young, as healthy, and as hot as you are right now. Your future self will kick you physically and metaphorically for not starting now. And I'm not saying that you can't have a glow up later on. Of course you have. There's always room for improvement, but you're doing yourself a disservice by not starting now, because life is short and you deserve to live each day feeling, looking, and being your best. I want you to visualize your dream version of yourself, and I want you to create your alter ego. How does she do her hair? What does she eat? Where does she live? What does she do for work? How does she smell? Who does she hang around with? So a great way to do this, of course, is to set up a Pinterest account and to create different boards. So I have a board for body, for home, for style, for beauty, family, food, lots of other things. And every now and then I will just scroll through, and if there are any images that I feel like align with my dream life and the dream version of myself, I'll just add it to my boards. It's really helpful just to have a really clear vision of exactly what you are trying to work towards. And that leads me quite nicely onto setting goals. So once you have your dream life and the dream version of yourself imprinted into your mind. What we can do from here is set some really intentional goals, and from those goals we can break that down into daily habits. So how I like to do this personally is I'll go through my Pinterest boards, I'll have a really clear vision in my head, and then I start off by writing my 10-year goals. So I really want these to be as ambitious as you like. There's no ceiling. And if these goals feel absolutely terrifying to write down now, all the better. One thing that you could also do as well, which I have done in the past, is write a letter to the version of yourself in 10 years time. And within this letter, you could describe the life that you imagine yourself living in 10 years. So for example, I could be living in Italy and I could have multiple properties and I could be there with my 2 kids and dog and blah, blah, blah. The more descriptive you are, the better, in my opinion. So once you have your 10-year goals, I want you to break these down into 5-year and 3-year goals. So what do you need to have achieved by 3 years and 5 years in order to reach those 10-year goals? Once you have done that, I know this feels like a lot, but trust me, it does really help. I want you to split those 3-year goals into 1-year goals. So these goals, of course, are for the year ahead. And what I like to do is split them up quarterly, but you could split them up monthly if you prefer, or quarterly and then monthly if you've got all the time in the world, which clearly I do. Once you have those monthly or quarterly or both goals, I want you to make a list of habits that you need to be doing daily in order to achieve these goals. So I'm going to give you an example. If one of your monthly goals is to lose 5 kilograms, one of your daily habits could be walking, and be specific as well. So how far are you walking, how long for, how many steps? Another could be that you're going to stick to a whole foods diet and that you're going to monitor your portions. Another example of a goal could be that you want to save £200 this month. So one of your habits could be creating a budget and making sure that you stick to it daily. So for example, if your daily spend is £10, that is the habit every day, sticking below that £10 mark. So the next step is to let go of self-limiting beliefs. And this one is really, really challenging because especially as women, we really struggle with imposter syndrome and just feeling like we're not good enough and we're not worth the life that we would like. But I am here to tell you that you are. And even if you don't believe it right now, you might as well just try and have some blind faith. Because whilst you could be repeating that this isn't going to work, you could also ask the question, well, what if it does? I really think you have to live quite delusionally and with an innate belief that it just has to work out. And I think the reason why this is so important is because the way that you talk to yourself, your inner monologue, literally influences every area of your life. It influences everything that you do. An example being, if you feel like you are not worthy of love, you are only going to date people who can't give you that. If you think you are not worthy of money, you're not going to push yourself to start a business. You're not going to push yourself to get a promotion. Growing up, I was always such a negative person, and I have really had to work so hard on being a glass half full person. And I really think the key to this is doing things before you feel ready, because you're never going to feel ready. And you are also capable of so much more than you think. And I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's so true. So the next step on my list is to do a life audit. And this, I think, is one of my favorite parts, and I go into it in more detail in the guide. And so whenever we spoke about the 4 areas before, so health, aesthetics, finances, and mindset, these are the areas that I want you to think of whenever we're doing our life audit. So a life audit is basically looking at yourself objectively. So looking at yourself without emotion, as if you are a brand or a business, maybe you are, and being analytical about the things that you are happy with, the things that align with the best version of yourself, but also noting the areas that need some improvement. And within each of these areas, I want you to list all of these things that need improving, or that you want to improve rather. I want you to write them down. So an example for each could be, for health, I want to improve my flexibility. How can I do that? Maybe start yoga. Aesthetics could be, I want to improve my skin. And how am I going to do that? I'm going to commit to seeing a facialist once a month. A financial improvement could be pay off my credit card debt. How could you do this? Obviously, there's lots to it, but you could start by being really honest about your spending. And number 4 mindset could be that you want to start a hobby. So a hobby could be starting golf. So next to all of the things that you would like to improve in your life, I want you to write a realistic timeline for this to happen. So just going back to the weight loss example, to lose 5 kilograms, the timescale for that could be a month. So whilst we are on the subject of health, the next step would be to create a nutrition plan. I've got lots of other videos about nutrition and fitness, so I'm only going to be quite brief here. But when it comes to creating a nutrition plan, you have to be really honest about the type of person you are. Are you someone who would benefit from meal prepping? Or realistically, are you someone who buys food constantly on the go? I personally think that the best way to fail something is to create a plan that just isn't realistic for what your lifestyle is. So me, for example, when it comes to nutrition, I am someone, I don't like to cook. So am I going to spend my Sundays meal prepping? No, I'm not. So what works really well for me is setting boundaries. So I try my best to eat for my health. I don't track calories, I don't track macros. So my loose boundaries are to stick to whole foods, to avoid alcohol, to stick to 3 meals a day and 1 snack, to make sure that my plates are balanced. And when I say balanced, I mean having some fruit or veg on there, having some lean protein, unrefined carbs, and healthy fats. You also, of course, have to loop your nutrition goal back to, your nutrition plan back to what your goals are. So if your goal is to lose weight, of course you have to be in a deficit. If your goal is to focus on your gut health, of course you have to look at fiber, you have to look at the quality of foods, maybe you start taking a probiotic. And just like the nutrition, the fitness plan that you set for yourself is the same. So you have to create a plan that is realistic around what your lifestyle is. If you're new to the gym, there is no point in setting yourself workouts for every day of the week. It's unnecessary and you're just not going to stick to it. Look at what your goals are, look at how much time you have, look at your budget. Also, really important one, look at what you like to do. I am someone who hates running, therefore, running is not in my plan. One really important element of creating a fitness plan, whilst it's important to bear all of the previous points in mind, is to make sure that you're getting some strength in there. I love having this little pen, makes me feel important. Some strength, some cardio, and some mobility work. So for me, that looks like some weightlifting, however, nothing too heavy, low impact cardio, which for me is walking, and I throw in Pilates in there as well because I love it. And of course, it's great for strength and mobility and all of that good stuff. So going back to the area of aesthetics for our next step, and I feel like this one is going to be a little controversial. Whenever you are doing your life audit, I want you to be honest and analytical about your appearance. And the reason for this is because it's ignorant to pretend that appearances don't matter in 2024. They do. How you look influences the friendships you have, the partner you have, how people treat you, the money you make, your confidence, your health. It literally influences every area of your life, and you would be doing yourself a disservice to not look after your appearance. And when I say to be analytical, I'm not telling you to compare yourself to anyone else. The only person I want you to compare your appearance to is the best version of yourself that we were visualizing at the start. So if you like having dark hair, like me, have the dark hair, but make sure you're looking after it. If you like blue mascara, wear blue mascara. You should always be wearing your best clothes. You should always take care of your hygiene. You should always do your makeup if that's what you like to do. You should always have your hair done how you like. Every day you should step out of your house, and this is also a mantra and a note to myself because I'm guilty of it too, as if you are about to bump into your, I was going to say enemy, your ex, maybe that is your enemy. Because you just never know who you could bump into, what could happen in your day? You should show up every day as if you are about to have the best day of your life, because when you put that energy out into the world, it has a habit of coming back to you. So one thing that always helps with always looking your best is to create a beauty schedule. So I have mine in my notes app, and I have things to do daily, every 2 days, twice weekly, the list goes on. And every Sunday I schedule maybe 2 to 3 hours where everything that I need to do weekly, so whether that's do my laser, do my nails, I make sure that I literally schedule it into my week so that I'm always prepared and I always look my best. And the same goes with things that are monthly appointments. I make sure that I schedule them ahead of time so that I don't get behind. So whether that's making hair appointments, going for facials, all of that, I plan into my diary so that I don't forget. So the next step, still in the area of aesthetics, is to, someone's shouting outside my window, is to assess your wardrobe and align your wardrobe with your style. So as I mentioned previously in the visualization stage, going through Pinterest is a really great way to just decide what you like. One thing that's really helpful to do whenever it comes to defining what your style is to put 2 phrases together. So for example, this could be androgynous dressing, clean girl, hyper feminine, and there's really no rules to it either. You could literally make up phrases. As long as it aligns with how you want to be dressing and showing up, that's absolutely fine. And what I would then do whenever you have your descriptor sentence is I would go through your wardrobe piece by piece, so set aside a whole day and ask yourself critically if each piece aligns with your style. Also, this is an opportunity to look for quality. So unless it's part of your style, we're not going around with holes in our clothes, and we're also just not going around with clothes that don't fit us. So gone are the days where we keep a piece of clothing around just in case we might fit into it in the future. Because from this point on, we are showing up as the best version of ourselves. That means that we are dressing for our present self. Also, and again, this is a note to me too, get rid of those clothes that you only wear because you feel comfortable doing so, but you don't actually like them. If they're not there, you can't be tempted to wear them. Okay, so the next step in our step-by-step glow up guide is within the area of finances, and that is to create a budget. So before this year, and I can't believe this is true because I am the queen of lists and planning and organising, I did not have a budget for myself. I basically would just anxiously spend and then hope that I had enough at the end of the month to pay my bills. And spoiler, a lot of the time I didn't, which is fun. And I think the reason I did this was because honestly, I was just so scared to look at my finances. And I was really scared about being honest with myself, because being honest with myself meant having to tackle debt and how much of a mess I was in. However, debt does not go away. Money problems don't go away. And there's no point in earning more money if you don't manage it properly. So before we even consider career, I want you to look at your current budget. I want you to go through all of your bank accounts if you have multiple, and I want you to make a list of all of the bills that you have coming out every month. I want you to look at the money you typically have coming in, and I want you to weigh up whether you are living above your means, which let's be honest, most people are, or whether you are within your budget. If you are living above your needs, above your means even, you need to make some cutbacks. So go through all of these subscriptions that you don't need. There are probably ones in there that you didn't even realise you were paying. And I really want you to pull this down until your incomings are higher than your outgoings. On the subject of budget as well, and obviously this isn't relevant for everyone, but if you have any debt, you really need to tackle that. You need to write out honestly what debt you have and organise them in terms of priority. So the ones that have the highest interest rate, the ones that you need to pay off first, you need to make yourself a plan so that you can pay that off. And I do just want to say on this subject, if you feel completely overwhelmed by your debt, please get some support, because as I said, it doesn't go away. So the next step, and this is within the finance area as well, is to set some career goals and to have a breadwinning mindset. And when I talk about a breadwinning mindset, I'm really talking directly to the women watching. Not that I'm generalizing, but throughout history, it has trickled down to us that we are not meant to be the breadwinners in the family, and that does nothing but hold us back. So what I want you to do is, for yourself, create some really ambitious, if that's your prerogative, career and finance goals. I want you to be really honest with yourself and ask, what would you like your future to look like in terms of your career? Are you happy climbing the corporate ladder? Would you like a side hustle? Would you like a business? I really think a lot of the time we cap ourselves and think that, oh, well, I'm in my late 20s, I'm in my 30s, I'm in my 40s, I'm in my 50s, so therefore I can't achieve my career goals. But the truth is that life is long, and especially with the internet and social media now, opportunities are just limitless. And I'm not saying that it's not hard work and it's not competitive. It absolutely is. But there's also no better time than now to create something for yourself. You have to have a breadwinning mindset and you have to have an abundance mindset. Money is available to you. You deserve to earn well and you are able to make it happen. The key thing here is that you have to make a plan. When I first started posting rubbish workout videos in lockdown, I always had a clear vision of where I wanted my business to be. And that vision, combined with adaptability and learnings, is what will inevitably help you to get there. The next step, and this is within the area of happiness and mindset, is to ask yourself honestly, what makes you happy? And this is something that I have had to do recently. So I have created my life and my business so that I can effectively go anywhere and work anywhere. And for the past couple of years, I have stayed put. Something I really enjoy doing is traveling and exploring new places. And even though my life is literally designed to be able to do that, I haven't been, and I think I've just been stuck in a little bit of a rut. Maybe rut is the wrong word. I think I've just been too comfortable. And what I have decided to do is to move out of the city centre where I live, to sell all of my stuff and to be a digital nomad for a while. And now that I've booked my flights, I'm moving all of my stuff this weekend. I've booked my accommodation for my first month. I'm genuinely so excited and happy at the thought of that. I think sometimes whenever we talk about happiness, we link it to things we're doing and things that we have. And to me, happiness really is contentment. And I find contentment in my day-to-day routine. And if I have worked so hard to put myself in a position where I can craft my dream day-to-day routine, I'm going to do that. So I guess my point here is, rather than doing things because you're in the motion or because people expect it from you, or you see on Instagram that this is the ideal way of living, if you are someone who would find happiness from having an allotment, from going on weekly walks, knitting, I'm literally thinking of the most elderly activities here. But my point is for you not to lose sight of what you find fulfilling. And I think it's important to bear this in mind, especially whenever we look at setting goals and working towards something, because what's the point in working towards something that we don't even want? And so the next step, and probably the most crucial of all, is implementation. So this video is redundant if you don't do anything in it. And the way to make sure that things get done is, in my opinion, to hibernate. So for the next 12 weeks, I want you to activate your ghost mode. And what I mean by this is not to completely isolate yourself and go and drive yourself insane, but I mean that this is an opportunity to cut off distraction. This is an opportunity to go all in on your goals. And what I want you to do is compare 12 weeks to the rest of your life. How much could your life improve if in the short term, you poured in everything you possibly could so that your future self could benefit from that? So rather than taking 2 steps forward with your progress and taking 3 back because you ended up going on a bender, spending all your money, eating loads of unhealthy food, what if for the next 12 weeks you did nothing but focus on those goals? Imagine how much your life would improve. And on that note, I'm going to finish off the video. God, it was a long one today, wasn't it? Thank you so much for watching. I really enjoyed making it, actually. If you want more videos like this, let me know in the comments below. Make sure that you subscribe. And I also want to finish this video by just announcing the fact that I currently have a limited time coaching package on at the moment. So the coaching package is 12 weeks, and with it you get the guide that I mentioned at the start of the video. You also get a personalized fitness plan, you get a personalized meal plan, you get weekly Pilates classes, and you get weekly check-ins so that you can monitor your progress. The package is only available for 1 week, and if you sign up you will save £260, which I think is pretty good. To sign up, I'll add the link to my description below, and I'll see you in the next video.